is Manjari Fadnis, and you're watching me on The Sunny G Show at Rohit Consulting Firm. Please like, share, and subscribe to Subhojit's YouTube channel.
भाई मेरे दोस्तों, मैं जब इनके घर आया हूँ तो मुझे लग नहीं रहा है कि मैं घर में आया हूँ, नर्सरी में आया हूँ, बिकॉज इतने सारे पेड़ पौधे मुझे यहाँ पे दिख रहे हैं। इनके घर का जो वॉशरूम है वो इतना एस्थेटिक है, इतना ज्यादा बड़ा है कि आई थिंक आई कैन वाउच फॉर द फैक्ट काफी लोगों के दिल से ज्यादा बड़ा इनका वॉशरूम है। आई हैव विद मी माई लवली डियर फ्रेंड मंजरी। शी इज कमिंग अप विद द फ्रीलांसर ऑन डिज्नी प्लस हॉटस्टार 1 सितंबर। जोर से ताली बजाओ सब लोग अपने लिए, इनके लिए बजाओ। दैट इज व्हाट आई थिंक शी डिजर्व्स। जोर से, और जोर से, और जोर से। क्या बात है, क्या बात है। लव इट, लव इट। You know, I'm so glad and happy that we have been planning. बहुत बार we have planned, you know, schedule stuff होता है, which is why we sometimes tend to try. नहीं होता. Finally, we are doing it, and in this beautiful nursery home of yours.
Yes, my nursery.
So I want to know from your end. Of course, everybody is talking about Freelancer right now. Promo आया है. It's such a lovely cast. I want to know a bit about your brief, about the role that you're playing, and how have you kind of successfully established your niche as an artist?
Wow, that's a long question. But I am very, very grateful, and I'm so glad I'm a part of this big project called Freelancer. I mean, like, you know, it's headed by Neeraj Pandey sir and Bhav Dhulia and the amazing, outstanding cast of, like, you know, Mohit and Anupam Kher sir, Kashmira, and like, you know, just such amazing actors, Sushant, such amazing actors. I'm so glad I'm a part of this outstanding team. I just want to start by saying that, you know, it was when I was growing in the industry, I had a big list of directors I wanted to work with, my wish list of directors. So Neeraj Pandey sir, ever since Wednesday, I have been dying to work with him. I had met him before also many years ago. So I was waiting to work with him almost for 10 years. And finally, when I got called for the audition, and I had a second round of tests, which happened 3 months after that, which was then directed by Neeraj sir. The audition was directed by Neeraj Pandey sir. So उसके बाद का जो waiting period था ना, because the shortlist
anxiety वाला होता है.
So that waiting, that shortlist of actors was really amazing. So I was very nervous. I was like, पता नहीं होगा नहीं होगा, because सभी बहुत अच्छे थे. And when I got the call and I got told I'm doing it, I was
एकदम cloud 9.
I was full cloud 9. I almost had tears. I was so emotional. And I was jumping. I called up Neeraj sir, like, thank you so much. It was amazing. मतलब
उनके अंदर जो बच्चा है बेसिकली वो बाहर आ गया था. She was jumping in joy. यहाँ पे जो सोफा है यहीं पे कूद रही थी वो. I can say that. हाँ, I can, जितना मैं जानती हूँ उनको इधर ही वो कूद रही थी.
And मैंने किसी को नहीं बताया था. I didn't tell anyone for one entire year till the shoot got over. So
but it's better, you know, not to, because I feel that कुछ अच्छा काम अगर होता है ना, a lot of people intentionally unintentionally tend to jinx it. तो हो जाए उसके बाद देखो भाई, वही बेटर है, पहले डिस्कस नहीं करेंगे.
I'm very superstitious. मैं generally लोगों को बताती हूँ जब I know they can't do without me. Last scene बचा होता है. हाँ, मैं सबको बता सकती हूँ. अभी कोई टेंशन नहीं है, मुझे निकाल नहीं सकती if they want to. So
how sweet and strong, huh? It's strong. That is what I can say. But you know, मुझे एक चीज बताओ, you know, everybody's talking about freelancer. It's a niche in itself, because ये particular genre has not been tapped.
No.
And you know, plus there's a cult combination of Mohit Raina, Anupam Kher sir, the legend. When I was talking to Bhav, we were saying that Anupam sir इतने ज़्यादा humble है कि set पे उन्होंने Bhav को बोला था कि भाई अगर मेरा काम अच्छा लगे तो मुझे दोबारा काम दे देना. That is what he told me. So that is the kind of humbleness that sir has. I want to know what has been your overall learning from these two lovely gentlemen, and you know, how have you kind of processed that into becoming a better performing artist?
So Anupam Kher sir के साथ ये मेरी तीसरी that this is my third project with them. And he's always been such a humble person. He is so helping as a co-star, as a human being. He's been encouraging, like, you know, I mean, for actors who are upcoming, like, you know, it's very important to get that little tap on the back, like, you know, that whole encouragement from your seniors. And he's always done that. Like, I worked with him on Zokomon, that was a Walt Disney
Yeah.
Studio film. Then I worked with him on Baba Black Sheep and now Freelancer. So, and like I could see he was genuinely happy to also know that I'm a part of the project, and he was so encouraging. So it's always amazing to work with these kind of people and watch the intensity of work when they're performing. They're like so in character. Yeah, I mean, like also I had a very complicated role on this one. So the fact that I was backed by such power-packed performers, you know, because acting is all about reacting. Acting is
True.
all about, you know, your performance naturally gets enhanced when you're a part of a team which is so passionate about their work and is so good at it. So yeah, I mean, I'm just glad, and of course, Bhav was so amazing. He was like he's like a completely visionary person,
Yeah.
and of course Neeraj Pandey sir, who was showrunner of this entire
Correct.
thing. He's the creator of this show.
Yeah.
So this entire team was very very beautiful to work with.
यू नो मेरा पर्सनल ओपिनियन है जितना मैंने आपका काम देखा है जब से मैंने आपका काम देखा है आई फील दैट ऑफ कोर्स यू कैन डू कॉमेडी यू बीन अ पार्ट ऑफ किसको प्यार करो ऑल दैट बट योर लेयर्स व्हेन यू ब्रिंग टू द टेबल व्हेन यू प्ले अ काइंड ऑफ इमोशनल सीन लाइक आई टॉक अबाउट बैरट हाउस और इवन द प्रोमो ऑफ दिस वो रोना जो है वो रोना इतना रियलिस्टिक लगता है आई कैन लिटरली से कि मतलब सच में ये कि मतलब डू यू काइंड ऑफ रिकॉल इमोशनल इंस्टेंसेस ऑफ योर रियल लाइफ एंड देन वो रोना आता है बिकॉज इट लुक्स वेरी रियलिस्टिक आई स्वेयर व्हेन आई से दिस तो हाउ डू यू काइंड ऑफ एंश्योर कि मतलब वो वैसा ही दिखे जैसा सही में दिखता है बिकॉज दैट इज आई थिंक द मोस्ट डिफिकल्ट थिंग हंसना यू कैन टॉक अबाउट अ लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स एंड यू कैन मीट बट रोना विदाउट ग्लिसरीन और व्हाटएवर इज आई थिंक अ रियल चैलेंज फॉर एनी एक्टर वो कैसे करते हो बैरट हाउस में आल्सो यू वर सुपर व्हिच इज व्हाई आई एम हाइलाइटिंग even when I'm talking about the freelancer.
Thank you so much for saying that. I think actors generally are very empathetic people, is what I believe, because when we're reading about a character, their moments in life, their difficult moments in life, we feel those moments. Is why we can perform them
Right.
authentically, I would say. For me, the process I use when I'm working is basically I tend to create an inner world for the character. Like even if it's not there in the script, I mean the audience might not see it, but it helps me as a performer, to actually create that entire journey of this character from the time she was born to her own backstory.
Correct.
Or whatever. So that of course I naturally do, and. Apart from that, of course, the entire understanding of the emotions of what that character is going through. Like sometimes, like for example, you touched upon Barot House. For Barot House, I did use a little bit of method. I mean, I keep changing my mechanisms of acting, but in Barot House, I used a little bit of method. I unfortunately had to use a moment in my life which was very, 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 very traumatic for me. So yeah, I did that. For Freelancer, on the other hand, Freelancer, I'm playing this character called Mrunal. Sorry, can you do I'm playing this character called Mrunal Kamath, who is Mohit Raina's. She's his emotional anchor. Okay, she is somebody.
Stability लाती है उनकी जिंदगी में.
Like he's a hard person. He is like, he's in a very difficult profession, a very dangerous profession. So anybody who is so hard in life always has some kind of an emotional anchor in his life. So that's where I come into picture. And also the fact that in Freelancer, I'm basically playing this character called Vinal Kamath, who is Avinash Kamath, who is the freelancer, his emotional anchor. So every hard person needs somebody in his life who he's emotional about, who's his emotional anchor. So that's where I come into picture. I somewhere ground him. But of course, like, even though our relationship is very, very deep and very, very loving, we are there with each other through thick and thin. But my character is going through some mental instability. So she's mentally unstable, and she is living in behavioral institutes because of some trauma which happened in her past, which I can't tell you about right now, because you have to see that's going to be a reveal at some point in the series. So I had to kind of figure out what that was. So when I was preparing for Mrunal Kamath, I had to because there's some moments in life which we haven't really experienced as human
Right.
beings. Like I did not experience what she had experienced,
Hmm.
or like because she's so emotionally volatile, because she's so easily triggered, and she's so vulnerable, and you have to be very careful around her because she emotionally is, as I said,
डगमगा जाती है
हाँ,
चीजें।
मतलब even her moods are very unpredictable. So ये सब understand करने के लिए I had to, apart from the other things I do for an actor, as an actor for my roles, I had to kind of read a little about a dissociative disorder.
Yeah.
I had to read about what a person goes through in that kind of emotional
Environment,
condition,
yeah.
so that I could bring that into this character. And of course, it was very well written. So I had exactly what I needed to do as an actor right there on paper, which is the great part about Freelancer, where I think a project is a winner the moment it is written well on the screenplay, in the Bible of this show.
Absolutely.
So I think I had a lot of good backing with all these things. So yeah, I don't know if I answered your question. I went.
You answered it perfectly and you answered it in a very nice elaborative manner जो कि चाहिए होता है. एंड वो इमोशनल एंगल वाला जो है, इमोशनल स्टेबिलिटी वाला, फ्रीलांसर देख के अगर आप लोग उनको डीएम करते हो कि हमारे लिए भी काइंड ऑफ इमोशनल स्टेबिलिटी लाओ हमारी जिंदगी में, वो रिप्लाई नहीं करेगी. दैट वाज ओनली ऑन स्क्रीन, और असली जिंदगी में वो नहीं है, ठीक है. बट टेल मी समथिंग. I've followed your career for quite a long time, even before I've known you in person. You were doing a dhamake, you were having a dhamakedar phase in the south as well for quite a long time. Uske baad, in terms of potential, stuff was said that maybe like equivalent to a Tamanna or Ileana, every way, potential wise everybody was saying, but somewhere down the line, in whatever ways, maybe factors beyond your control,
factors beyond your control is perfectly correct.
Yeah, so I want to understand कि what happened, कि वो consistency factor जो है, because I'm sure जिन्होंने आपका काम साउथ में देखा, they wanted to see more of you,
Yes.
but unfortunately they couldn't, again because of reasons beyond your control.
Beyond my control.
So मुझे उसके बारे में थोड़ा बताओ, what was that? जितना आपको बताना है आप उतना बताओ. I respect your comfort zone, and at the same time also want to understand when that inconsistency happened. Were you kind of I mean, taken for a surprise? Were you upset? Like मैं तो अपने इनसे सब कुछ कर रही हूँ, but why is all this happening with me?
Okay. So, technically speaking, I have constantly been consistent.
Yeah.
Whether someone has seen my project or not, I've constantly been doing a lot of work.
Yeah.
South, I did a lot of amazing work in South. Unfortunately, not enough, not as much as I would have wanted to do. I was really enjoying my career in Telugu industry, and I did some good projects. I had some successful projects.
Yes, exactly.
I do have, like, even today when I go back to Hyderabad, I have people who remember me from my film which I did with the national award-winning director K. Vishwanath sir. My first film was a hit out there. So I have a lot of love from the audience when I go back to Hyderabad, and I absolutely love going back there, and the kind of love and respect that I get out there from the audience.
Yeah.
But somehow in the South industry, I have done every language, like Telugu, Tamil, Kannada,
Malayalam as well, right?
Yeah, in spite of getting amazing response from the audience, from the critics, from like whoever saw my performances, like they all loved me. But I wasn't able to somehow, I don't know for what reason, again beyond my control, I wasn't able to get the big projects out there. I was going by the scripts I was getting. If I liked the script, I would do it. But I was waiting, like beyond a point, I decided I wanted to work with the best people in the South. And I wanted to, do some good work out there. And after a point, I kind of decided, no, I want to do the big A-list projects, and I'll wait for it. And I was waiting. And I was waiting. And I was waiting. And
waiting.
I didn't get it. Now, what is the reason I didn't get it? I don't know. Or maybe I can guess. But I don't want to say that, because that's not true for everyone.
Of
like
course.
there are a lot of amazing actresses out there who have got amazing work without having to compromise, without having to. They've had great careers. I mean, sometimes, in our profession, luck is also something of a major factor.
Luck, destiny, sab matter karta hai.
I mean, not that I'm saying I'm unlucky. I'm very lucky. I think I've constantly had work my entire career, touch wood. God has been really kind. And I have set a nice place for myself in this industry in spite of not coming from the film background. But having said that, I've had my own struggles. I think everyone has their own struggles. Then, of course, like I had one experience where I was going to get a huge project in one of the 4 industries out there. As every actress has experienced this, I'm not the only one. I got that indecent proposal where they wanted me as a big hero out there and a big producer and everything. So I got that. The whole thing of the producer kind of.
Were they direct or were they like it was an
indirect?
No,
they were very sophisticated. And
subtly blending that in.
So I mean, like for some time I would also play innocent. I would play.
That was your way of escaping from that situation.
Play innocent. I would play innocent sometimes, and I would go along like on the phone call. Oh, like okay, when you come here, what will you do? I work really hard. I give a fantastic performance. What will you get for me? I think I'll get chocolates for you. I knew exactly where it was going, and I called up my mom and I would be like, Mama, this project, like I'm not talking about all the projects. I have had amazing experience out of how many projects have I done? 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 or 8 projects that I've done in South. I've had a beautiful experience with all the production houses I worked with.
The films which are out.
The films which are out. I've had a beautiful experience out there, so I have no complaints on that front. But this one was something that, like I called up my mama. I was like, Mama, you are coming with me on this project. I'm not going alone. She's like, हाँ बेटा, let's see. We'll see.
But did she get traumatized in any way? उनको मतलब डर लगा आपके लिए कि क्या? Because sometimes what happens when you don't belong to the industry and you're an outsider, your parents particularly tend to get a little scared because you as an individual, आप तो daily देखते हो क्या होता है. So you tend to deal with it, but parents sometimes get scared. Your mom got scared at that point of time?
I'm from an army background. I'm an army officer's daughter. You think I can't take care of myself?
डर वर नहीं होता कुछ, डर वर डिक्शनरी में ही नहीं है.
Listen, I can take very good care of myself. One thing I want to say, nobody can exploit you. You choose not to be exploited, no one can exploit you. You just walk out of a situation. It's always in your hands to say no. For example, to that producer, the dear producer, I very politely, eventually he didn't have patience with me because she's so dumb, she's not understanding. Of course I understood everything. I was just playing along. I was just playing along. So he was like, so finally at a point he kind of gave in and kind of directly said it.
नहीं हो रहा, दाल नहीं गलने वाली इधर.
I very conveniently lost the project. And I didn't mind it. It was a huge project. I did not mind it because it was a choice I made. It was a complete choice that I made. So I have no regrets on that. So that didn't happen.
In South particularly,
that was one project.
But it's good. Overall the graph has been good. People still love you in all the 4 industries. I think that's the most important takeaway that you have. In South particularly, हम लोग अगर कहे तो there's this I would say dimension or a pattern that we have seen over the years is that कि चलो actresses भी काम कर रहे हैं, actors भी है, will give actresses meaty roles as well, but कहीं ना कहीं जाके the way they're portrayed on screen, to an extent the audience feels, we also feel, I also feel at times, again my personal opinion, you might agree, you might not agree, कि the actress जो है उनको कहीं ना कहीं apart from their meaty role, they're sexualized in a way, in some way or the other on screen. Perhaps the way they are asked to wear a sari, by flaunting their midriff or unnecessarily kabhi sometimes perhaps the scene doesn't even need that. ऐसा भी we see, and there are hundreds of threads you can have this discussion on Quora and all these people, so it's not just my opinion, it's a pretty generalized opinion that people feel कि actresses को वहाँ पे चलो रोल अच्छा मिलता है, they do good stuff, but somewhere down the line their presence is also sexualized by directors or producers just to get some kind of extra attention. Do you feel कि ऐसा होता है? आपके साथ हुआ है कि नहीं, that's a different thing, but do you feel कि ये tendency है वहाँ पे?
Why only South industry? I
everywhere,
think,
but
I think everywhere, like a heroine apparently is meant to be sexy. So that's been in the industry since forever.
Yeah.
And it's not just one industry or the other industry. I think it's everywhere. But but there are amazing, like now things have really changed a lot. Like there's such amazing, strong, women oriented performances, women centric films and series constantly coming out there, where the performance is what is the highlight more than anything
Right.
else. So I think our industry has very beautifully transformed and is still
Getting better again,
transforming.
right.
And so yeah, I think I would just say that. I think it's not just one industry. I mean, like, there's some projects which want that. It's also the character the actor is playing, right? So
But कभी आपके साथ ऐसा हुआ है, like when you're shooting, when you personally feel कि the director says कि Manjari, wear your outfit like this, wear your outfit like that, perhaps expose this part of your body, that body, etc. ऐसा आपके साथ हुआ है? आपने किया, refuse किया वो चीज, that's a different thing. But have you been given these kind of suggestions? मैं ये पूछना चाहता हूँ आपसे, just to get that extra bit of audience.
not specifically, as in like if I have to wear a sexy outfit. I mean, like, it's a sexy outfit. Why would I have a problem wearing a sexy outfit? Like, why do we work out? Like, we're constantly keeping fit and all that. So, I mean, I really don't mind wearing a sexy, hot outfit. So, but I haven't really been particularly saying, "Acha, ye thoda midriff dikhao, ya ye thoda cleavage dikhao." या ऐसे directly ऐसे कुछ कभी हुआ नहीं है.
Touch wood, which is a blessing, like, because बहुत लोगों के साथ ये भी हुआ है.
Like, नहीं, I think I've had. I'm blessed that way. I have somehow attracted.
Some kind of divine intervention is working in your favor, which is, I think, a good thing.
Yeah, I think God has been kind of course. I'm not saying my life has been completely clean with no negative experiences. I've had a lot of negative experiences, but I've had those many positive and more experiences.
उससे ज़्यादा positive है. So you recollect only that.
I do recollect the negatives. I don't forget. No, I don't forget. But I move on. I move on from that.
This is a very mature thing to do. Difficult as well, because it's your decision कि वो negative चीज को तुम अपने ऊपर ज़्यादा भारी होने देते हो, या फिर you move out of that and become.
You're troubling yourself. No, you're troubling your own mind.
You're sabotaging your own work, personal life,
and your own
professional
energy,
life.
your own entire,
Absolutely.
So yeah.
मुझे हिंदी space के बारे में थोड़ा सा बताओ before this pretty much like the concluding part of the session. There was Jaane tu ya Jaane na. So many people were crushing on her at that point of time जब वो movie आया था. There was Kis Kisko Pyaar Karoon. Again, when I say consistency, I don't mean consistency in terms of quantity. I mean consistency in terms of the popularity factor. The popularity which a Jaane tu ya Jaane na or a Kis Kisko Pyaar Karoon got. Perhaps a lot of your other projects where you were consistent, Hindi space में वो शायद नहीं हुआ. Everybody was expecting after Jaane tu. मैं खुद स्कूल में था, मैं भी सोचा था यार, मतलब this girl, Janelia, Imran, all are going to be killing it in the next 4-5 years यहाँ पे हिंदी में. But sometimes things tend to not go according to plan. So हिंदी में what do you think has been the reason? Because again, hard work का तो कोई कमती नहीं है. You're doing that every day, you're auditioning, you're doing all your stuff. हिंदी में what do you think? Is it like the intense competition, too many people? क्या था because of which you feel कि जिस तरीके से you wanted to perhaps establish your niche in the Hindi industry, उस लेवल पे नहीं हुआ?
So, Jaane tu really established me as, I got my first award for that. I got my first Stardust award.
You were crazy for that film, Baba. I'll tell you, school में हम लोग थे, and during the tiffin break or even after, we used to dance like mad to Pappu Can't Dance, Sala and all that stuff. वो movie का vibe ही अलग है.
Yeah, that's
so it's like a cult in itself. So when you are a part of these kind of movies, ना वो रह जाता है दिमाग में. So it resides in your mind always.
I mean, it was not just then. अभी 15 साल हो गए हैं जाने तो जाना को.
Exactly.
Till date, I have open letters written to Meghna. People over 15 years. In fact, now they are understanding Meghna's character, her depth, her as a soul, as a person, more today. I mean,
उस लेवल पे शायद उस टाइम पे वो
sensibility नहीं था. उस टाइम वो sensibility पता नहीं था. Like it was seen more like oh yeah, so irritating. She's playing this. What is this? Like or some people like it was 50-50 audience. Some people were like playing what's this in their college or school.
Correct.
And some people are like, I don't like Meghna. Some people are like, I love Meghna. I love her a lot. Like,
I love Meghna. I can say
I mean, like there were more than 50% people who loved Meghna. But yeah, so when Jaane Tu released, when I got Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na, the entire casting was already done. So I'll be very honest, Shubhajit. When I came into this industry, I I still believe, I have the potential of being a main lead mainstream actress. And I wanted to be a main lead mainstream actress. So I came with that thought and belief in myself. My first film, Rok Sako To Rok Lo, had not done very well. I was a lead in that. And then I did a couple of other leads, which unfortunately the films had not worked at the box office.
That's why I say the popularity factor, not the quantity.
Correct. So then when Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na, actually that was the second film that I signed. So when that came to my kitty, I mean like the entire, I mean when I got called for the audition, that entire casting was done. Only Meghna's character was left to cast. And they very samne told me that Manjari is the second lead. Are you going to be okay with that? I was like, okay, Aamir Khan Productions. I read the role. I was like, this gives me an opportunity to present myself in such a way that people will see that, oh, this girl can be.
Right.
You know. So I saw all the permutations, combinations, and then I decided, yes, I should be a part of this project. It's a beautiful role, and I definitely want to do this. And I was very happy doing the role and everything. And of course, the rest is history. Whatever happened, like, you know, after the release of the film, like, people loved me, blah, blah, blah. I got my award, blah, blah, blah. All that stuff happened. But after that, because the film did so well, and I was the second lead on that, whenever the castings were happening, they were always kind of putting me, you know, हमारी इंडस्ट्री में हमारी इंडस्ट्री में एक वो कैटेगराइजिंग हो जाता है कि ये यहाँ पे फिट होती है, वहाँ पे फिट. So like during the casting, they were like putting me in that category, and nothing was anywhere close to the power of
the mainstream lead. No,
nothing was in the power of even Meghna. It was all like, you know, it was not. They were not nice roles, which I didn't want to short sell myself.
Absolutely.
I did not want to short sell myself, so I decided I'll wait. And then I waited a little. I did keep meeting people from the industry, and I got beautiful response. That's also the time I met Neeraj Pandey sir around that time, and I had very good response from everybody.
कहीं ना कहीं जाके things do, I mean, come good ना. उस time पे आप मिले. After this many years, at least आपने काम किया उनके साथ.
Correct. And since so many years, like, you know, after every 1 or 2 years, I would just send a message to sir. I would love to work with you. And eventually, 10 years down, it happened. But anyway, coming back, so it was just basically I was waiting for the right roles to come my way. I got Zokamon. Aamir Khan suggested my name for the Walt Disney Studios' first live-action film in the country, where Anupam Kher sir was also there, and I got that project, and I was very excited. It was Walt Disney Studios. The LA team was directly involved in that. Unfortunately, that got delayed. It released later. Then so. ऐसा बहुत ज़्यादा वेट करके, you know, and then I was doing good films which I believed in. They were nice scripts, they were decent scripts to keep afloat.
Right.
Which might not have been the big films, but they were very decent films. I'm very proud of the work I've done all this while. I grew as an actor over time and everything. So yeah, it was taking me some time, but unfortunately, that thing was not happening. But beach mein sports, I would have a success, like Jaane Tu happened. Then there was a lull. Then I had a long lull. Then I was continuously working South mein, ye wo, chota mota. Then finally, 2012 was great for me. 2012, I shot for 2 amazing projects. One was Grand Masti, that was Indra Kumar sir's film. So 2013 it released. 2013, Grand Masti again went into the whole 100 crore club, and it was like, again, I was back.
Big ticket film.
It was a big ticket film. Again, but that was again a multi-star cast and everything. But I got again a good response for my character that I played in that. But within 15 days of that, there was another film that had released, which was Anubhav Sinha Productions, their first film in India. Anubhav Sinha Productions, Banaras Movies, and Eros International and everything. And a very performance-oriented film. And I had a fantastic role in that. And that film is something I'm still most proud of. One of the most films I'm most proud of. Gurmeet Singh, it was his first release in India. The director of Mirzapur.
Yeah.
So that
I love his beard.
He's fantastic. So that was a project I was very emotional about, and that was the kind of a project. Those were the kind of projects I wanted. I wanted to be a part of. Performance oriented, something out of the box. So those kind of things. But unfortunately, it didn't get promoted well. Whoever saw it loved the film. Still, whoever has seen it, like now when they watch it on OTT and TV, they're like, "What was that film? When did it release? Why didn't we know about it? It was a 3D film. We had to see it on a small screen. We would have enjoyed it so much on the big screen. It was like full sharks and everything and la." So unfortunately, that didn't happen. Then again, I had a little bit of then 2015. Kis Kisko Pyaar Karoon, suddenly big hit, and then that I got really noticed back again in Kis Kisko Pyaar Karoon. People still say my dialogue on that. Bhagwan aisa pati sabko de and all that. Then over time, again, it was just low. I mean, I did small, few projects here and there. Again, I was very proud of it. 2017, I came to a point in my career where I felt, as you said, not getting what I deserve. I came to a point where I felt that I am being slotted into sweet girl next door, where there's no performance, nothing I can
my
show.
Entire potential is not being realized.
Yeah, and there were times when sometimes, in some reviews of simple projects where I'm again playing girlfriend, wife, whatever, I had some. Normally, reviewers have been very good to me. Like the media and the reviewers, I am so grateful to them. They have actually always encouraged me. They have been so kind to me throughout my career. But because they have not seen me in any other roles, other kind of roles, one of them happened to say, "Oh, her talent is limited." I'm like, I haven't had the opportunities. They haven't come to me yet.
Yeah.
I want, once I get them, I'll friggin' show everyone what I can do.
What is my talent?
What I can do.
Dikhati ho tab.
So I was like just so. I went into that whole angry phase, that whole skeptical phase in the industry. That was 2017 when I felt that way. I was like, and then I spoke to one of my casting director friends, and I asked him, "Where am I going wrong?" And then he was like, "Manjari, you're choosing wrong projects." I'm like, "Wrong projects? Like, yeah, you're choosing small projects." I'm like, "Okay, but I'm not getting the better projects,
So how do I choose?
How do I survive in Mumbai? Because it's a difficult city to be in.
Absolutely.
It is Mumbai. It is expensive. And actresses have to, they have to set a standard of living and everything and stuff like that. And so yeah, I mean, like, it was tough. Like, I went through certain phases in my life where I was like, I don't know, maybe now I'll have to leave and go back to Mumbai, back to my parents' place in Mumbai. Maybe I won't be able to survive. But of course, Mumbai has never let me go back. So I am extremely grateful. So anyway, 2017, I kind of decided I'm taking a break. I'm not going to sign anything till the time I know this is going to be seen by audience and it's a good project, good directors and everything. And I will do theatre instead. So 2 years I did theatre. I went back to the basics. I grew as an actor. I mean, I worked on myself. I did 2 amazing plays, Double Deal Reloaded and Devdas, where I played Chandramukhi. Again, Double Deal Reloaded, I had a very layered characters. I got to experience live audience and stage, and I had such a good time. I was in a low phase, like in the sense of I was angry and all that in the industry, and like then you start thinking all sorts of shit.
Right.
When you're pissed off. But not everyone knew about it. But it was just internally.
That you covered very smartly.
I internally felt that time. Yeah. But I was very happy doing theatre. So as long as I'm working, I'm happy. Now, fame and all is something that comes. It's a
it's a process. Kabhi aata hai, kabhi jata hai. It's never really stagnant.
Or what's the word? It's a byproduct of the profession we are in.
Right.
So I was like, okay, let that be a byproduct. Whenever that has to happen, will happen. Let me enjoy, because I was in this profession because I loved acting. So that's something that kept me happy and kept me going for those 2 years that I was doing theatre. Then I'm so glad I took that break. But again, theatre doesn't pay very well. is not very
Efficient to
yeah,
survive.
yeah. So I was still there, and for 2 years I stayed on my savings. Then I called up my dad, and I was like, "Papa, 3 महीने में अभी कुछ नहीं है ना मेरे पास. What am I going to do? I can't survive here." So he's like, "Beta, nothing. You're good in studies. You'll come back home. We'll restart a new life."
कितना इम्पोर्टेंट होता है पेरेंट्स का सपोर्ट. आई मस्ट एक्नॉलेज दिस थिंग. इट इज़ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट बिकॉज उससे ताकत मिलती है दिमाग में टू अंडरस्टैंड कि भले ही लो फेज हो, वी कैन स्टिल काउंटर दैट, वी कैन फाइट दैट एंड कम आउट विक्टोरियस. So I think kudos to your father as
My
well.
dad has been my pillar, like my complete pillar. So then finally, as I had said before, Mumbai doesn't let me go back. Touch wood. Thank you, God. Thanks. So again, when the moment that phase comes, these kind of phases come, I get something which snaps me up again.
महाराष्ट्र की हवा को आप पसंद हो.
Yeah, it's my city now. So I got Barot House.
That was beautiful.
I got Barot House, and then Barot House and the entire OTT space is something that changed my entire spectrum as an actor. And now I'm getting the kind of work that I want to do, the kind of I think Barot House is the first time somebody saw me in a really intense role.
I was blown away. I was at the screening and I congratulated you over there as well. I was like कि दो लोगों का, Amit तो was fantastic
Amit
as
is
well.
fabulous, yes.
You were fab, and even the little one. Oh my God, what
that
acting!
Boy, he's a miracle
I hugged him
child.
so tight. उसको मैंने बोला कि भाई तू अलग ही है, तू power house है, तू आगे जाके जो बनेगा ना. I told him we had a wide smile on his face. I was like, wow, my takeaway from this screening.
I'm so grateful to Bugs. Like, Bugs didn't even test me for the film. He never auditioned me for the film. He's like, no, she fits my character. I know she'll be able to do it.
Right.
And that's it. And like, so yeah, I think that's something that
Good.
I'm very grateful to the OTT space. I think people are more ready to experimenting now.
Right.
Instead of just putting actors in categories, they're giving opportunities, and different kind of projects are being encouraged and experimented on.
Right.
Like even Freelancer is a very different kind of like we have seen many thrillers. Here it is something. It is about a young girl who is kind of betrayed by her own husband, her own loved one, like and taken away to a lawless country, and how the freelancer is kind of brought on board. He has an emotional connect with the family of this girl, and he comes in there to do the impossible task of bringing her back from a lawless land. So I don't think we have seen something like this.
We haven't.
Thrillers बहुत देखे हैं, but this is a very, and the way it's shot. I'm very excited about this project.
You can't give away too much. रुक जाते एक तारीख तक. But I hope it works out. Last question अगर मैं आपको पूछूं, I genuinely believe that settling down doesn't mean marriage. मैं उस चीज़ को believe नहीं करता. As an actress, as an individual, you're very settled, but at the same time, you're this lovely, gorgeous girl. अगर इनकी शादी नहीं होगी तो हम लोग बहुत सारे लोग बुरा मान जाएंगे कि यार क्या बात है, इतनी खूबसूरत लड़की इन्होंने शादी नहीं किया. So I want to know, I don't want to know कि आपको किसके साथ करना है या नहीं करना. I just want to understand कि do you have that thing in your mind as well? Because what I love is that कि you have not set any timeline.
No.
Which is a wonderful thing. कोई प्रेशर नहीं है, अपने हिसाब से करना होगा करूंगी, नहीं करना होगा तो नहीं करूंगी.
I don't want to marry for the wrong reasons.
Right.
I want to marry for the right reasons, which is love, which is immense love and trust in a person who I can, feel comfortable with sharing my life with, and I can trust wholly and solely. But if that doesn't happen, I'll travel the world. I will have fun.
वैसे ही रहेगी, उसमें और क्या टेंशन है फिर.
And actually, when parents and all are talking about beta settle ho ja and all that stuff, they are talking.
For them, settling down means this.
I'm like, mummy,
और कितना settle हूँ?
Marriage will unsettle me if anything else. I'm very settled right now. So no, I have no plans. I mean, when I do have someone in life, if I do have someone in life, which I don't care about anymore, I will talk about it. But right now, I'm just living the life.
डायरेक्ट जब शादी अगर होगा तो आप देखोगे मुझे ऐसे ढोल बजाते हुए, आप देखोगे मुझे वहाँ पे इनकी शादी को एंकरिंग करते हुए. दैट इज व्हाट इट इज. बट थैंक यू सो मच मंजरी. आई वांटेड दिस काइंड ऑफ अ हार्टफुल चैट फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम. none better than this period of Freelancer coming on 1st September.
Yes.
Thank you so much. You've been a sweetheart of a friend in terms of supporting in every way, and you agreed to do this long chat with me. I'm very grateful. And
course.
1st September is the day. Disney Plus Hotstar, guys, देखो फटाफट Freelancer, इनको support करो. The entire team is fantastic. You just need to shower all the love that you have. ढेर सारा प्यार दो उनको, दो स्पेसिफिकली, मेरी दोस्त है, थोड़ा बायसनेस तो बनता है, चलो कोई बात नहीं, बट दो एंड कीप हर, लेट हर स्ले द वे शी इज. एंड या वन लास्ट मैसेज अगर किसी को देना है कुछ फैंस के लिए.
1st September, Disney Plus Hotstar, just watch The Freelancer. I'm sure you all will be on the edge of your seat. You all will really enjoy the show.
Yeah.
And please send me your love. I'm on Instagram, so please do send me your love.
उस दिन वो डीएम्स, हाँ उस दिन डीएम्स देखेंगी वो. और अकेले देखना है, किसी के साथ देखना है, अपने घर पे देखना है, किसी और के घर में देखना है, जहां पे भी करना है, जो करना है करो. 1st September शुड बी ब्लॉक्ड फॉर द फ्रीलांसर. समझ गए कि नहीं? नहीं समझे तो जल्दी समझ जाओ. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. That's a wrap on the Sunny G show by Rohit Consulting Firm. This is your host Subhojit. We'll see you again with another interesting episode very, very soon. Thank you so much. God bless.